Welcome to the US election 2024 global currency roundup. Yes, shocking. Girls, we agreed when we started the financial report. Here at Bar Talk, we are in self appointed global accountability watchdog for the US dollar. The US dollar is the global trading currency. Okay, the honorable members are Isabel, Melissa, Marianne, Darlene, Isabella, and the Honorable Jason. When he's available, he is our financial expert and advisor. Welcome, guys. Today's topic is Fireside Talk with Jose and friends. Okay, later that the following day, Jose made arrangement for us to meet up with him at a secret location where he would gather the escapees, as they call them. These are the ones that managed to escape the last ride. I asked them how did they escape. They told me that it's a trade secret, so if they would tell me, they would have to kill me. So okay, I got the T-shirt. Okay, um, okay. So they were supposed to prepare questions and tell me how they think this situation can be resolved. First of all, let me be very clear. All 10 of them, inclusive of Jose, said that they have asked for a package to go home. They don't want to be in America. They were in shock, actually, when they saw America. They thought that it would have impressed them, and it has been nothing but a nightmare. So they have asked the current administration for a package, and they've been ignored. Okay, these 10 men have 10 different stories. We have Jose would prefer not to say where he's from, but the others unmentionables. We have from Syria, we have Lebanon, we have what do you call those again? The Latin Americas, like Venezuela, Colombia. Yes, yes, yes. We did have some Jamaicans there, and they told me that it was 5 of them that was that left Jamaica for their friends, and I believe they say 2 got killed in Mexico, 3 carry on, and 1 disappear at the bus in the bus situation, and that one did not speak Spanish. The 2 that survived, they're fluent in Spanish, and they did not speak English to anyone. So it was understood, I think, that they were supposed to have been from Colombia, and they went along with it. And the Syrians and the Lebanese, and there were one Chinese, yeah, 2 Nigerians, and You see where we're going here. And of course, we have the Latinos, few of them, including Jose. They really did not want me to mention exactly where they're from, but especially the Jamaicans wanted to be mentioned because they arrived there thinking that they were going to get some kind of respect because Miss Harris supposed to be Jamaican, only to their shock that they were treated like hell. And of course, the Syrians told the Jamaicans while I was there that it's impossible for Miss Harris to be Jamaican because in Syria they they called her Mama Harris, Mama whatever. There's this name they call her there in Arabic, and they know where she grew up. They knew where she grew up. They knew where she lived in Syria, and she's Syrian. She's not Jamaican. And the Jamaicans said that when they investigated her, the timeline that she gave with things, it's not possible because Mr. Harris served in the Michael Manley administration. And during that time, she said that Mr. Harris was in America doing God only knows what he was doing, which does not make sense. Her mother is brown from India, which doesn't make sense, that arrived in America at 19 during the 50s. That's almost impossible for an Indian woman at 19, or you would say girl at that age, to travel by herself in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and to meet a foreigner outside of her arranged marital life. During those times, the arranged marriage thing was a serious protocol. In those times, it's impossible for them to marry out of their race. And not only that, he said that Mr. Harris's wife, based on the archives in Jamaica, is not an Indian woman. And he refused to say what it is because it might give Miss Harris idea. They're waiting for her to come up with the right race of this woman that's supposed to have been her mother. So technically, both the Syrians and the Jamaicans became best friends because of this problem and this knowledge, and they're discussing that it's almost impossible for the vice president to be a Jamaican. And they're asking for her to apologize to Jamaicans, especially because of how they were treated at the border, the embarrassment, the murder of and disappearance of three Jamaicans. And he said that Jamaicans are calling for an apology and they want to know what happened to the missing Jamaicans, right? And the two Syrians that escaped, a lot of Syrians disappear on this bus journey, this final ride journey to hell, as they call it. It's a journey to hell, they call it. So, and so I ask, after hearing all these stories, because it's their story, and the Jamaicans want Miss Harris to do a DNA test against the Harris family that she's been tormented. She has disrespected Mr. Harris, who is a very honorable and respectful Jamaican. She had she amplified her mother at the DNC, a fictitious woman that somehow managed to be dead She's brown from India, she said. And at 19, she journeyed all by herself during the 40s, 50s, and wind up meeting Mr. Harris at a Martin Luther King rally or something. It's almost impossible, right? Because Mr. Harris's wife is a Jamaican woman, the Jamaican said. It's not black woman, right? Let's not say the race of it, but they say that it's not an Indian woman and it's not a black woman. So that's what the boys told me. And they said that Miss Harris needs to do a DNA test, and the people of Jamaica would like to know the result, because this disrespect on the nation of Jamaica and on Mr. Harris. This man is a very honorable, respectful Jamaican, they say, and deserves to be respected. And Miss Harris, apparently, they say, has a problem with men. She's very disrespectful to men. She disrespects her boss, Mr. Biden. She's just disrespectful. And now she's lobbying to remove their penises. And I asked them about it. And they think she's crazy, right? And surprisingly, the guys from Syria said that she was born a man in Syria. So maybe she's angry because she got hers removed and she's in pain. But it was a very fun. It was their story. It was their fireside chat. We met in a bar because I'm doing bar talk. And in the land of free speech and free spirit, um, these people, they've been abused to the max. They've been lured, they've been tricked in all kinds of things. And now they told me that a lot of people have been killed in Mexico on the way to the border because they're trying to cut down on the amount of people that arrive at the border. So they would extract their vote in Mexico and then kill them over there. And that's what they told me. Remember, this is their views, their word. So, okay. I asked them, how can this be resolved? And they send a message to Mr. Trump. They said that they're not the enemy. They were told to come because it was a land of plenty, and they've lost everything from all kinds of tariff and war brought onto their country by the USA. They say, I must remind everyone that myself and the girls, we represent the US dollar and the integrity of the US dollar. Okay? That is our dog fight. We are not interested in personal what the hell. We are into the commerce, the trade, the global trade, and our interest is to put cash back in the pockets of men. Okay? And I'm asking every woman, let us join force to get our men cashed up and plenty so we can go shopping. We don't have the time for this foolishness. It doesn't work for us girls, you know. Uh when our boys are happy and good, the girls go shopping. It's simple. Anyways, they want to go home, Mr. Trump. They want a package and they want to go home as soon as possible. When I was speaking to them, they say if a bus would come outside to take them to the airport to their home with the package, they have to go with some money to rebuild their life. They have nothing. As I said, their family, everything, they've lost the respect and dignity of their family and friends. So that's what they want to do. So I want to thank Jose for arranging this meet up for us. and they're not the enemy of America. They're actually the friend because they don't want to stay. And the stories that they're telling, they said it's real stories, stories that they heard. And the ones that actually escaped are the ones that are fluent in English. Well, even not so much fluent in English, but they have a good knowledge of English as one of their language. The two Jamaicans, they speak fluent Spanish and English, and I think French. They have French as well. So they were able to escape the ones that has another language. So, and I think they were just lucky. But especially the Jamaicans and the Syrians, they're in shock about what this woman was allowed and is allowed to do. And they even said that Kamala Harris's birth certificate, they have copies of it, where she was born in Jamaica. And yeah, so it's not a joke. They don't understand this woman has very larger feet than Miss Harris. She has bigger hands, bigger jaws. Her neck looks like she has some kind of fillers in it and shaved Adam's apple. She has scars on her neck that indicate that she's shaved her Adam's apple and nobody asked her anything about it. I'm just saying. That's what they told me. And she big head, all those plastic surgery scars on her nose, her eyes, her cheek implants, her chin definition implants. The original Kamala Harris that was born in Jamaica, and they say they have the birth certificate to prove of this. And any way you slice the cake, if she's indeed Jamaican or Syrian, she's not eligible to be anything in the USA. Because you must be born in the USA to be president or vice president or any of that schnook. It's a very it's a very sad story. It's a very sad story, and these people came because she invited them. Okay, and they escaped their life. They saw what she was going to do to them at that warehouse. So at this point, they say they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. They're very desperate, and they're currently speaking to a network to make a movie. And I'm like, really? They say, yeah. So I'm telling you, I would watch that movie. I'd love to hear the story. Oh my goodness. Because what they told me, they say it's the edited version because they don't believe I have the guts to stand up to the real story. I'm like, wow, intrigued me. I mean, these 10 men have seen death. They saw what was going to happen to them. And they know the person who organized all of this. And they said the sad thing is, when they arrived at the border, they saw the hell that America is. It's not nice, it's dirty, it's not looking good, and they wanted to go home. Instead, they were tricked on a bus to go process, and then they will put them on a flight. And after they've given their vote, because all 10 men said that they did vote in the 2024 election at the warehouse, they gave their vote. They tried to lead them to this pot of boiling water. And so they are on ground zero when it comes to Miss Harris. Ground zero, they say. That she's evil and they cannot believe she did those things. My God. I was so emotional. I was so emotional. You see, the situation is as such. If it's one thing for it to be gossip and it's a totally made up story, but these boys experience the things that they're saying. They had the experience, and that's why it's so sad, because it's so brutal. It is so unimaginably brutal. Oh my goodness. Well, they survive. They survive. They're tough, and they're good men. They are very good men. They're not criminals. They're just destitute and desperate. I mean, the Jamaicans also said that Kamala Harris's voice sounds nothing like this woman trying to put on some fake Jamaican American accent. She sounds nothing like Kamala Harris, and she's too short and too boxy because they say Kamala Harris was a knockout. Okay? She was naturally beautiful. She did not have those big horse teeth that this woman has, and big horse jaw, and looking like Gladstone, you know? The Jamaicans said that this is directly for Miss Harris. You see, Miss Harris, you have chosen the wrong country and the wrong girl, because Kamala Harris is a Jamaican girl, which means she belongs to the United Nation of Jamaica, right? We unified when it's necessary, and now we're calling on you to tell us what have you done to Kamala Harris, and they are calling on you to do a DNA test against the Harris family to clarify that you are indeed Kamala Harris, because you're not Kamala Harris. Everyone knows what Kamala Harris looks like, right? She grew up in the public eye, right? So you have chosen the wrong girl. And the American people need to hear this before they go to vote, because your Syrian boy said that you're a con artist. Okay? So prove us wrong and do a DNA test. You have nothing to hide, you have nothing to lose. Produce the DNA test, and everybody will apologize for the misunderstanding. How about that? You have nothing to lose. A DNA test, we shut everybody up. Failure to do so, of course. You know what that means, don't you, Miss Harris? Miss Harris, your Syrian boy said that you're a fellow Syrian born in Syria as a man, brought to America through Rainbow Push NGO owned by Jesse Jackson, transformed into Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris is missing. Now we're asking for a DNA test. The Jamaicans are asking for a DNA test. Prove us wrong. This question was for the Jamaicans. When I asked, Harris said that she went to school in America and she took the yellow bus to school. Also, that she worked at McDonald's when she was apparently 13. And you know where we're going with that, and moved to Canada and all kinds of crazy in her head. And they told me that it's not possible that Harris would be working at 13 at McDonald's in America when Harris is a part of Jamaica's elite. Her family, her father is elite. To work at 13 at McDonald's in America, that would be a shock. It's just not possible. This story is crazy. And they don't know who took this yellow bus to school. But it wasn't, they say it wasn't our girl, Harris. It wasn't our girl, Kamala Harris. So they are thinking that maybe she should get herself checked into Walter Reed and also get herself checked for lead poisoning or dementia or something. They tried to put the blame on Master Joe that he was the one demented. But hey, they said it's just not, the story is just, it's not possible. And this is just tormentation. That's a good word. It's not my word, it's their word, tormentation for the Harris family, because the Harris family is a very respected public family in Jamaica. And it's shocking, the humiliation, the embarrassment that this woman is caused. She needs to apologize to the Harris family. Miss Harris. The guys. Her, she invited them, and when they came and the abuse and the disappointment, you could see it in their eyes that they're so disappointed. So they turn into the enemy of the state in terms of that, and they ask her for the package to go home, and she tried to lure them on this bus to go to Arizona, and everybody that goes on that bus never return. So I asked Jose, I think Melissa asked Jose, Jose, could you stop them or tell them not to go on the bus? And he said he can't, because he would show his hands and he can't take care of them. So to save them and put them where, he said. But we knew everyone that goes on that bus they will escape if they have his ingenuity. But he can't say nothing. He just watched them go on the bus. And I'm like, wow. So that is the border life, and this is the interview with the SKP, and they're telling Mr. Trump that they have never been to prison. And they came because they have nothing, and they were promised a little bit, and they've been abused, and they don't know if they can survive until January to get his help. They want to get some help to go home now, and they're asking Miss Harris to use the campaign money and give them as package so they can go home, because what she's doing is wasting money. When you have all this homelessness on the street in LA, it's terrible everywhere, the homelessness. And she's running around with campaign money, doing campaign for what? Her administration is a failure. Who is going to give her US dollars to go invest where? Where is she going to invest this money? Globally, we don't have the strength for it. People are suffering, they're hungry because of all these tariffs and all these things brought on to countries, create poverty and ruins for people's life because of this US dollar. Okay? Well, in conclusion, all they want, Mr. Trump, is to go home. They don't want to spend another minute in America. They say they don't care for America. So this whole thing where people are treating them like they are some kind of parasites, and they're bringing all kinds of diseases and stuff. Of course, you have undesirables there at the border, but I went there. I represent global poverty and the US dollar, the condition of the US dollar. And so I don't have any preference. Mr. Trump is the best boy at this time to handle the money moving forward, right? His policies, as he has proven in 2016 that what he was going to do, and he did all, right? He did not only promise, he executed, and it was done. And he also, this time, he made the same promises, right? And what the guys, they don't, the 10 men that we sat with, they say the shocker. And God bless Jose, because he found some place to house them. They're living, it's not the greatest thing, but they have a little place where they crash, as they say. And they're in hiding, of course, but they want to go home. And they said the sad thing is, Miss Harris looked in the television screen and said that when she becomes president, she is going to do all kinds of crazy. She's going to pass these things into law, cutting off penises, cutting up babies, ripping babies from the uterus. All these things she looked into the TV screen and said when she is in the White House. So who is in the White House now? Is it a different Miss Harris? Because this one that is campaigning, she's campaigning as if she's on her way to the White House. She has never been to the White House. She's not actually in the White House. This is what she's going around telling people, and they're saying, but she's the vice president. And English she said that when she is in the White House, when she becomes president, but she's vice president now. What's the difference, really? Because you could lock horn with the boss. If you don't like a policy, you lock horn until you come to some agreement. So, what do you mean you could not do anything because you're just vice president? Okay. But you also said that when you're in the White House, what does that mean? You're not there anymore? Or you've never been? She looked, and she's lying and telling people that basically she has never been to the White House, they told me. So, I don't know. This whole thing is, and we have it as conversation like this because the whole thing is crazy. At the border is crazy. And I must say, they're great people in every situation because Jose wind up to be their hero and their savior. He provide food for them. He he's taking care of them. God bless him. I mean, I get so emotional. He's a good man. And he said that, oh my goodness, the hell they went through. He said to me, if you if we really tell you the hell that we've been through, I don't think you'd have legs to stand on, he said. And I could see pain. I look in their eyes and I saw pain. I saw the kind of pain that I wish I don't want to see it again. And I hope that it will be removed from their eyes. I don't know if that kind of pain, I don't know if that kind of pain can go away. As the girls were saying, that Isabella said, it's a kind of pain because Isabella speaks, and Isabel, they speak very fluent Spanish. They said that that kind of pain in the eyes is like a stain. It will never leave them. It will. It doesn't matter if you take them out and give them $1 billion a day. That pain in the stain in their eyes, it's called eye stain. It will never go away. They told me. I said, really? They abuse and they survive. We're talking about people that went in the bus and never been seen again. What happened to them? What happened to those people? After they voted, it's been harvested. They have no further use for them. They're conducting the same thing in Mexico where people are found dead on the street in hundreds. Of course, they're not reporting it. But all these people that are found dead, they say, have already voted. But in conclusion, the guy from Syria, he said that he knows exactly where Harris grew up in Syria, and her name is not Harris. Well, she was born a boy, okay, in Syria. That's what he said. So he was in shock when he saw her with her name and telling where she's from. She has nothing to say about Jamaica. She has no idea about Jamaica. Everything you ask her, she's laughing because she has no clue. And she cannot read, they say. She cannot read and she cannot write. She could barely speak Arabic when she was growing up because she didn't have the brain to learn anything. Well, one guy said that she has a touch of Down syndrome, they say. So I asked the men what exactly they think happened to, from what they have stated, happened to Kamala Harris, the real Kamala Harris. And they say Kamala Harris went missing 2005 and just vanished and returned a year and a half, not remembering anything, just constantly laughing. I mean, this Kamala Harris, I mean, no one has ever seen her laughing and doing those things. Like she's crazy. So, Oh, by the way, the Jamaicans, they say they have the whole file on the Harris family. That's what they told me. I mean, in detailed, and it does not match this Kamala Harris's story. That's why they are calling for a DNA test. And she needs to answer question as to what happened to the real Kamala Harris. That's what they told me. So I am just reporting what they say. Well, in conclusion, what they want to go home. And they, of course, they apologize to the people of America. And they don't want to be considered a parasite or anything like that. They just want to be on their way home. And God love them. And once again, I have no idea where their secret homes are, where they're staying. I never ask. I met them in a very public arena, and their stories are their stories. And they went through hell, and they were very clear that if they weren't invited, they would never have come. So, and again, they're not sure if they can survive until January. That's what they say. They don't know if they can survive. I told them they will survive. The Jose is feeding them. He said he'll take care of them. My God, he sat there and he looked and he said, I'll take care of them. Now you tell me, when they say the heart of men is dead, you tell me how can I not love men? I just love men. They're very special creatures. They're intriguing, and no, he sits with this grand presence, Jose, and when he told his story of how he escaped, and he's a character. I mean, he's very funny. They're laughing all the time with him. He's very funny. They say they have nighttime barbecue and lots of beer, and so he's taking care of them. God bless him. Oh my goodness. And he wants to go home to his family, but I think Jose Jose's a boy of the moment. He's fine. The girls and myself asked Jose and his friends what are their views on the president's health. And in a chorus, they all said that he should be thoroughly checked for lead poisoning, and the White House should be checked, the plumbing, the air condition should be checked for lead exposure. And then they can figure out if it's a bad coincidence or if it's a direct attack on him, which would be equivalent to an assassination attempt. But technically, he's the only one that is getting sick. So, in order of elimination, when you think about it, as Jose says, in a technical world, if it was the plumbing, or everyone would be getting sick. But that's the metrics really. So, okay. We'll see. He said that everyone should be checked. He should be thoroughly checked because it has nothing to do with his policies. If you have a grandfather and that's happening to them, that's abuse. It's just downright abuse, they say. They were all in saddened moment for him. They were just in shock. The whole thing, they say, is in shock. It's shocking. Okay, so we want to wrap this up. Girls, what do you think about this whole thing? The human cost, the casualty, it's it's too much. It's too much. Um, that's a good point, what they say. And as I'm saying again, that we represent global poverty and the US dollars, the health and strength of the US dollars. That's what we represent. I have never seen, as the girls and myself, is so emotional. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And I hope that we will never have to see it again. And I don't believe that Jose and his friends, that when they return to their family, I don't know if they can even reintegrate into a family situation after that kind of experience. It's it's beyond. So I'm asking everyone to have a moment of silence for them and pray for them. Pray for just pray for them. And the thing is, they said the bus goes, you have a kind of like 20 buses a day that goes to this secret location in Arizona, or more, 20 or more buses. My God. Okay, let us. It's okay. I think it's okay. I'm just saying that. So sometimes when we see a broader picture on the board, you can see exactly what is going on, because after all the stories that we were told about these border people, that they're all coming from just prisons and all of that, and never mind what Jose told about little children. The little children's stories, he said, is unbelievable. It's like those are hot tickets. Jose said that these little vans come and collect little girls and take them away. They don't get on the bus. The little girls, they don't get on the buses. They're taken away in little vans. And little boys, they don't go on the buses. So I guess to be continued, because that was what he said at the end of this. So I guess we can have another storytelling, or maybe not. Because we've seen the picture, we understood what's going on now. And I think I'll close the chapter on this because it's very clear what exactly is going on. There's no need for follow up on this, and of course, I will keep in touch with them and see how what happened next in terms of a different situation. But to continue on this path, I think all is said. What's on the current news and this version, and the development of how they return home would be a good story to tell. And let's see what happened. All right. Thanks, Jose, for your story. Thanks, guys, for the story. And they deserve to be heard. Who can we trust to handle our money? That's it. It's all about the money. It's all about the show. It's all about the money till the deal is done, okay? Cash talking keeps the trade alive. I hope I did a good job with this topic, girls. They're number one on the ticket. I love to love you, baby. I am Dr. Barr. We'll be again.